I'd like to call to order the regular city commission meeting for this, the 25th day of August, 2025. We will have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Dollison.
Here.
Commissioner Mercer.
Here.
Commissioner Dantzler.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Yates.
Here.
And Mayor Birdsong.
Here. We will have our invocation by Pastor Danny Bennett of the St. John's United Methodist Church, and we'll be led in the Pledge of Allegiance by Vanessa Castillo, MMC City Clerk.
Let us pray. Almighty God of grace and of wisdom, we gather this evening in gratitude for the gift of community and for the opportunity to work together for the common good. We give thanks for the leaders who serve this city, for the staff who support them, and for the neighbors whose voices guide the work of justice and peace. We are especially grateful for those who serve in our police department and for their efforts to move toward a fairer and more just city through programs like diversion initiatives. May this work be a sign of hope, restoration, and a deepening commitment to equity for all who live here in our beautiful city. Bless this meeting with clarity of mind, patience in discussion, and courage in decision-making. May those gathered here be guided not only by self-interest, but by compassion, fairness, and a vision that uplifts the whole community, especially the most vulnerable among us. In the presence of one another and in reverence to the values that unite us, we offer this prayer with humility and with hope. Amen.
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 Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Join me.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. We have one special presentation this evening. This is to recognize several of your staff members who have recently completed the Florida State University program for Certified Public Management. I'll give you a little background before I recognize the individuals. A little bit about CPM. So the Certified Public Manager program is a nationally recognized leadership development program for public managers and supervisors. Is currently offered in 42 states and by the federal government. Florida State University has been participating, is one of the oldest CPM programs starting in 1979. The program consists of 31 days of classroom instruction supplemented by homework assignments and open book exams. There are 8 four-day courses known as levels 1 through 8. This program takes about 2 years to complete. The City of Winter Haven has participated in this program since the early 2000s. And our staff, when they participate in this, are in a class cohort that is comprised of other people in the public sector from throughout Polk County. Oftentimes we have members of the Sheriff's Office, other municipalities, state offices, DOT, a variety of different folks in the classroom with our own students that are there, our own staff, creates a tremendous learning opportunity. So last Thursday, our most recent cohort completed their studies and graduated at a ceremony held in Plant City. It was held at the Hillsborough Community College facilities there. I'm going to ask Deputy City Manager MJ Carnevale to come down front. I will join him momentarily, but I want to invite these people to come forward. They have all completed the program. We have a plaque to represent their significant completion, and they will join the ranks of other CPM graduates that we have here in the city. Jill Dental with Winter Haven Police Department. Jill, if you'll come forward. And if you guys will just come straight to the very front, we'll get a nice photo up here with everybody. Myra Donnelly, also with the Winter Haven Police Department. Mr. Hunter Hart with the Winter Haven Fire Department. Joshua Hendricks, who is with our Public Works operations, is specifically in fleet maintenance. Candace Lightsey with the Winter Haven Water Department. Amanda Jo Nicholson, who you all know with the City Manager's Office. Anna Gloria Quintana, also with the Winter Haven Police Department. Charlie Robles, Winter Haven Fire Department. And Deputy Chief Michael Waters, also with the Winter Haven Fire Department. So as I said, these folks have completed 2 years of education through the Florida State University CPM program and are now officially recognized as certified public managers.
Right here. 1, 2, 3. One more. And the other comments. All right, you're good.
Congratulations. Very good.
Mr. Mayor, I'd also like to point out that while he's not part of our team, a young man by the name of Bradley Dollison, who is with the Lakeland Police Department, was also graduated this past Thursday in that same program. So extend congrats to Commissioner Dollison's son for completing that program.
All right, thank you. All right, we have no developments of note. Commissioners, you have 3 sets of minutes.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
motion to approve August 6th Special City Commission meeting minutes, August 6th City Commission Agenda Review minutes, and August 11th City Commission meeting minutes as presented.
thank you. I will close the commission meeting, open the public hearing, and when wishing to speak to these minutes may do so at this time. Seeing none, close the public hearing, reopen the commission meeting. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed by the same sign. Hearing none. The minutes are adopted. Okay, we have 2 people that would like to speak to the commission. Marcellus Stanislaus, would you please come forward? State your name and address for the record, and you have 5 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Marcella Stanislaus, and I live at 364 Pasco Court in Winter Haven, but of course that's out in the county. So I'm not here speaking on the county. But I'm here representing the Polk County Voters League. And I thank you for this opportunity to address you, the Commission of Winter Haven, on an important matter. I wonder if any of you know the significance of these 2 numbers, 15.29% and 11.34%. Well, if you don't know, let me let you know. They represent the turnout for the 2023 November municipal and December runoff elections in Polk County. And yes, they're very low. This is the same trend seen in many other areas of Florida and other states, especially when the elections are run in years when there is no presidential or midterm elections. Nationwide, many people do not realize how much impact officials elected in local municipal elections have on many aspects of their daily lives, including decisions made around housing, utilities, road repair, and policing. Working with other nonprofit organizations, we have set a goal to work towards raising the participation rate by 2%, or just over 2,000 voters this November for municipal elections in Winter Haven, Fort Meade, Auburndale, and Lakeland. Data from a local issue survey conducted in many areas of Polk by the League of Women Voters shows that voters are most concerned about the following local issues: safe schools, gun violence prevention, access to affordable housing, access to health care, quality teachers, and education. We are now developing a campaign called Vote Local on November 4th, and are working on materials to increase awareness of local elections through stickers and postcards and what we call our bookmark campaign. The plan is for a social media campaign and for each organization to talk to voters at voter registration events, farmers markets, football games, and neighborhood association meetings until Election Day. We think that with a lot of hard work and some funding, we can help the residents of Polk County see that voting locally is just as important as voting in state and federal elections, and that in fact, their vote may have more importance. So how can you help? You can help by letting us know when you have events where members of our coalition can meet the public to raise awareness. You can encourage voter registration events, especially at city libraries. You can work with us to fund billboards and other major advertising efforts. You can assist outreach through social media. Having one point of contact to work with would be important and would be wonderful. I would ask that you get in touch with Joe Sim, who is the president of the League of Women's Voters, Polk County, and Randy Barnes, who is the president of Polk County Voters League, so that we can work together. And I hope that you decide that this is an important issue for which we can go forward together. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. The next person is Linda Fife. Would you come forward, state your name and address for the record, please? You have 5 minutes.
Thank you. My name is Linda Fife. I live at 3691 Plymouth Drive in the Traditions community. I've spoken with you all before. I am the vice president of the HOA of the Association of 595 Homes. I also serve on the Regional Community Council, which represents 13 communities along the Thompson Nursery Road widening project. This weekend, we did have the opportunity to send an additional communication over to County Manager Bill Beasley regarding concerns continuing along the Thompson Nursery Road expansion. I've noticed in the Transportation Planning Organization, Mayor Birdsong, Commissioner Yates, and Commissioner Mercer's, your participation in there. A couple of concerns have come up on that, which directly impact Winter Haven. And certainly I hope, as you represent the city of Winter Haven on that commission, that these things ring continuously as you represent our communities. One of which is the forwarding of requests for funding from the state Florida Department of Transportation. The draft is coming up at your next meeting on forwarding funds to the next calendar year. The present funding is listed for the Thompson Nursery Road expansion, only takes it from Highway 17 over to West Lake Ruby Drive, and it does not continue over from West Lake Ruby Drive to 27. Please, as those three of you represent Winter Haven in this process, if you'll make sure that funding through grants both state and federal, are looked at to make sure that that project is completed. Certainly, the other thing that the 13 communities along there in the city and represented by each of you, at the intersection of Westlake Ruby Road and Thompson Nursery Road, the Publix is now under construction. The Publix, along with 7-Eleven on the diagonal opposite corner of the intersection. When we look at that at June of 2026, we have an opening day for Publix on the 25th of June, 2026. That will complete 14 new commercial properties at that intersection, which will create ongoing issues, restaurants, gas stations, grocery stores. So a 24-hour process. Also on the south side where we've renamed Ruby Lake is now West Ruby Lake on the south side of Thompson Nursery also. There are two pending residential units going in there, one by the Latigo Group, one by the LW Group, with the anticipation of another 1,000 residential units, where that's the only exit in and out of those 1,000 residentials, which is right onto Thompson Nursery Road at Westlake Ruby. So once again, especially with Traditions, our concern is the lack of looking forward for traffic signal at the Traditions in Winter Haven, Thompson Nursery Road intersection. So once again, those are three of you that represent our community, the city of Winter Haven on that board. We continue to address this issue through the Regional Community Council and certainly through the Transportation Planning Organization. We thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, no one else has signed up, but if someone came in and didn't have an opportunity to sign up, you can come forward now and state your name and address for the record if you'd like to address the commission. All right, seeing none. We have no ordinances, second reading. Commissioners, you have the consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
motion to approve the consent agenda in its entirety.
Thank you. I'll close the commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak to any item on the consent agenda may do so at this time. Seeing none, close the public hearing, reopen the commission meeting. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposes by the same sign. Hearing none. The consent agenda is adopted in its entirety. All right, our next item, we have Resolution R2541, which read by title only. City Attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution number R-25-41, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Winter Haven, Florida, approving the City of Winter Haven, Florida Asset Management Plan dated May 2025, relating to the city's wastewater utility system, authorizing the mayor, city clerk, city manager, and city's water department director, and any other city officials to take all actions necessary to effectuate the intent of this resolution, providing for severability, conflicts, and an effective date. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. As a condition of obtaining funding from the State Revolving Fund, also known as SRF, the city is required to implement an asset management plan, or AMP, for the city of Winter Haven's wastewater utility system. The AMP must be adopted by ordinance or resolution and have written procedures for its implementation to be eligible for a financing rate reduction. The AMP develops a systematic approach to the city's infrastructure from a 40-year life cycle management perspective and provides a basis for achieving the maximum value of city assets. Through analyzing risk, optimizing cost, and monitoring performance throughout the asset's life cycle, an AMP allows the city to proactively maintain and rehabilitate its systems to avoid costly emergency repairs. Staff recommends the City Commission approve Resolution R25-41 and authorize the city manager and other city officials to take any and all further actions related thereto. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
yes, motion to approve resolution R2541.
Thank you. I will close the commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak to Resolution R2541 may do so at this time. Seeing none, close the public hearing, reopen the city commission meeting. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed by the same sign. Hearing none, Resolution R 2541 is adopted. Resolution R 2542, would you read by title only, City Attorney?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution number R-25-42, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Winter Haven, Florida, electing to utilize the uniform method of collecting non-ad valorem assessments is authorized under Section 197.3632 Florida statutes for collecting unpaid non-ad valorem special assessments levied by the City Commission, adopting findings of fact, adopting a non-ad valorem assessment roll, authorizing the city attorney to certify the assessment roll to the tax collector, providing an effective date. Thank you.
Thank you, City Manager.
Mayor and Commissioners, this is Resolution R 2542, certification of code compliance special assessments for the 2025 tax roll. On July 28th of this year, a public hearing was held before the City Commission to allow affected property owners an opportunity to present objections and/or testimony regarding the cost of corrective actions taken to bring the properties into compliance. Notice that hearing was published in the newspaper and mailed to each of the affected property owners at their address as listed on the tax roll. The city's Safe Neighborhoods Department is now requesting the City Commission impose unpaid special assessments as non-ad valorem special assessments on the affected property owners' tax bills and authorize the city attorney or his designee to certify and transmit same to the Polk County tax collector. The purpose of this resolution is for the City Commission to approve, certify, and authorize the transmittal of non-ad valorem assessment roll to the tax collector utilizing the uniform method of collection under Section 197.3632 of Florida statutes. The costs associated with the outside parties who will participate in this process include a payment to the Polk County property appraiser of $330 and to the Polk County tax collector, estimated collection fees are $660. Staff recommends City Commission approve Resolution R 2542 and authorize the city attorney or his designee to take all necessary actions related thereto. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
motion to approve Resolution R 2542, certification of the code special assessment for 2025 tax roll.
thank you. I will close the commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak to Resolution R 2542 may do so at this time. Seeing none, close the public hearing, reopen the commission meeting. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed by the same sign. Hearing none, Resolution R 2542 is adopted. Resolution R 2543, which read by title only, City Attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution R-25-43, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Winter Haven, Florida, adopting the 2025 Polk County Multi-Jurisdictional Local Mitigation Strategy Update and providing an effective date. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager.
Mayor and Commissioners, this is Resolution 2543, adopting the 2025 Polk County Multi-Jurisdictional Local Mitigation Strategy. The Local Mitigation Strategy, or LMS as it's commonly referred to, is a multi-jurisdictional plan developed to assess hazard vulnerabilities, identify mitigation goals, and outline strategies to reduce risk from natural, technological, and societal disasters. Polk County's LMS is updated every 5 years to maintain eligibility for certain state and federal hazard mitigation funding programs and to comply with the Disaster Mitigation Act of 2000. The 2025 Polk County Multi-Jurisdictional LMS was developed through a coordinated effort of the Polk County LMS Working Group, which includes representatives from municipalities, special districts, and other participating agencies. Following a comprehensive review by the Florida Division of Emergency Management, the LMS received a determination of approval pending adoption. That was received in June of 2025. This status confirms that the plan meets all federal hazard mitigation plan requirements subject to formal adoption by the participating jurisdictions, including the City of Winter Haven. Adoption of the LMS by the City Commission formally commits the city to cooperating in the county-wide local mitigation strategy, maintains the city's eligibility to apply for federal mitigation grants, and ensures the city's hazard mitigation strategies remain consistent with county-wide and regional resilience efforts. There is no direct fiscal cost or impact associated with this action. Staff recommends the City Commission approve Resolution 25-43, adopting the City of Winter Haven's designated portion of the 2025 Polk County Multi-Jurisdictional Local Mitigation Strategy, and authorize the city manager or designee to take any and all actions incidental and necessary that are related to the city's actions and/or performance under the city's designated portion of the 2025 Polk County Multi-Jurisdictional Local Mitigation Strategy. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
a motion to approve Resolution R 2543 in public hearing.
Thank you. I'll close the commission meeting and open a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak to Resolution R 2543 may do so at this time. Seeing none, I close the public hearing, reopen the commission meeting. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed by the same sign. Hearing none. Resolution R 2543 is adopted. Resolution R 2544, would you read by title only, City Attorney?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution R-25-44, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Winter Haven, Florida, approving an agreement with the State of Florida Division of Emergency Management for statewide mutual aid, authorizing the city manager to execute said agreement and providing for an effective date. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager?
Mayor and Commissioners, this is Resolution 25-44, renewal of statewide mutual aid agreement. The state of Florida, through the Division of Emergency Management, is requesting that all counties and municipalities update their statewide mutual aid agreement to the latest 2023 edition. The City of Winter Haven originally entered into this agreement on May 14th, 2001, with the most recent renewal occurring in 2020 via Resolution R 20-49. Pursuant to the Florida Emergency Management Act, the state and its political subdivisions are authorized to provide and receive emergency assistance during disasters, including the coordination and deployment of resources across jurisdictions. This resolution authorizes the city to participate in mutual aid activities with other political subdivisions. It also approves and incorporates the updated SWMAA into the city's comprehensive emergency management plan. There's no financial impact associated with this action. Staff recommends the City Commission approve Resolution R 25-44 and approve the SWMAA and authorize the city manager or designee and other necessary city officials to execute the agreement with the State of Florida Division of Emergency Management and to take any and all additional actions necessary thereto. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
motion to approve Resolution R 2544 in public hearing.
Thank you. I'll close the commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak to Resolution R 2544 may do so at this time. Seeing none, close the public hearing, reopen the commission meeting. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed by the same sign. Hearing none. Resolution R 2544 is adopted. Resolution R 2545, would you read by title only, City Attorney?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution number R-25-45, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Winter Haven, Florida, relating to municipal approval of plats and replats of land, making factual findings, adopting city policy regarding the administrative receipt, review, and processing of applications for final plat or replat approval, providing for conflict, severability, the administrative correction of scrivener's errors, and an effective date. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager?
Mayor and Commissioners, this is Resolution R 25-45, Administrative Plat Approval Process. In the previous legislative session, the Florida Legislature adopted Senate Bill 784, which amends Part 1 of Chapter 177 of Florida statutes to require that each plat and replat of land lying within the City of Winter Haven's municipal limits intended to be offered for recording in the public records be first submitted to the city for administrative approval. This act supersedes local conflicting plat regulations and removes all requirements to hold public hearings and obtain approvals from the City of Winter Haven Planning Commission and or the City of Winter Haven City Commission. The act also requires the designation of an administrative authority to receive, review, process, and approve with conditions, or deny plats and replats. Resolution R 25-45 formally adopts an administrative plat approval process detailing interim procedures and designating an interim city administrative authority while staff works to develop an amendment to the City of Winter Haven's Land Development Code recognizing the requirements of the act. There is no financial impact with this action, Staff recommends City Commission approve Resolution 25-45 and authorize the city manager or designee to take all necessary actions related thereto. As we discussed during the workshop Wednesday evening, historically, plats have come before the City Commission for action. This new legislation supersedes that and says we have to do that at the administrative level. As we discussed, Mr. Labby has been designated as the administrative authority for that, so plats will be received by his office and comply with the timeframes and conditions for approvals and the processes. This is an interim policy that we're putting into play, and we will bring back to you at a later date an ordinance to amend the city's land development code that will incorporate basically this exact same language but codify it at that time. Thank you.
Thank you, commissioners.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
motion to approve Resolution R 2545 in public hearing.
Thank you. I will close the commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak to Resolution R 2545 may do so at this time. Seeing none, close the public hearing, reopen the city commission meeting. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I'll just make a comment. So I'm going to vote yes on this because I'm not going to violate state law. But I will also say that I'm voting yes on this with prejudice because this is a clear attempt by the state legislature to circumvent home rule, and it takes authority out of our hands. So I just wanted to get that on record.
Anyone else? All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed by the same sign. Hearing none, Resolution R 2545 is adopted. We have no ordinances first reading. We have no new business. Commission liaison reports. Commissioner Dantzler.
Okay, not a lot to report on from me. I want to thank you guys for covering for me for the last couple of weeks as I was out of town. But I'm back now. So the only thing I really did was I went to the City University inaugural dinner, and it looks like we have another good class, and very, very pleased with the way that whole City U has come together. A couple of items that I need to talk about tonight. First has to do with the TDC. I was called while I was in California with my son that my term with the TDC had expired. We have 10-year term limits on the TDC, or maybe 12 years, I don't know. But rather frantically was told that I need to say my goodbyes from the TDC because of term limits. And so it takes a lot of time. As you know, I report on that all the time, and I have to find we have to find a successor. So I don't know if anybody has any interest in doing the TDC, but I'm asking if there is, because I need to we need to make a decision among ourselves on how we want to do that. And then I can let the TDC know, because what you normally have you have an elected people on the TDC, and then you have non-electeds, and we need to have an elected from Winter Haven on there for sure. So does anybody have any interest in taking my place?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I'd be happy to serve on the TDC if the commission supports it.
That's a great idea.
All
So
right.
everybody in conjunction with that?
Yes, I'm fine.
Okay, good. Well, thank you, Brian. I'll make that happen. The next meeting's coming up. I think it's this Thursday. Is that right?
We can check and see.
AJ, do you know? I think it's this Thursday. So that may very well be my swan song. So I don't know. I'll have to find out about that. And finally, with this being the season of term limits and elections, there's been a lot of things swirling around about my future. So I want to clear it up tonight and just announce that here in front of all my commissioners tonight, that my time on the Winter Haven City Commission is drawing nigh. I am not going to be filing for re-election for this January, for this fall. So I will have served 13 years come January. I feel like that's enough. We have 12-year term limits. Doesn't apply to us, but going forward, we have 12-year term limits. I will have served 13 years. So I have decided not to file for re-election this fall. Now, I'm not endorsing anybody, and I might not. We'll see how it goes. But as it stands right now, I just want to let my fellow commissioners know that my time here on this board will end in January. So, and I have a lot more to say about it at the proper time, but I wanted to give people that might want to run ample time to file and to do what they need to do to potentially take this seat. So that's it.
All right. Commissioner Mercer?
Okay, I attended the Chamber Member Appreciation Barbecue in the Breezeway. It was a very good concept. A lot of people drop in, and you can drop in and drop out, I guess. I also attended the Polk County Legislative Delegation public meeting at the Field House. And the Florida League of Cities Conference, I was there for, seemed like 3 or 4 days. I don't remember. But they did have a lot of good items on there. And I guess you'd say for that, they also had the ethics class. However, I didn't need that because we had to file. I had to have it before we could file in July. So, but anyway, I also attended the City U session and the first one. And you do a great job on that. And that we had the history from Bob Gernert, and that's always pretty amazing stuff. So, and then I kind of left so they could do their thing. So, but thank you very much. And I think it's a good addition, and it interests people in it, and also they can support some of the things that the city out in the city, so that the city does. So thank you.
That's it.
That's it.
Commissioner Donaldson?
Well, good evening. Few things that I actually was able to share, but I will say, Brad, it's been really an honor to sit next to you and work alongside of you. I know, but you're not running, but I am running. So I want to be clear that I am seeking re-election to serve on the commission for a full term. I just about served the time for J.P. Powell. God rest his soul. And I wanted to do it justice. He was a great man, friend, and one I had great admiration and appreciation for. And it's been an honor to serve at this capacity in our city. So again, I want to thank you. God bless you in your endeavors. Had an opportunity to be at the Polk County Legislative Delegation public meeting. Very informative. It's good to see all of them together and to know who's fighting for Florida, or this area in particular, excuse me. And there are many challenges, to say the least, but we have a great delegation. I think they've done a wonderful job. Also, was able to attend the Florida League of Cities conference. Very interesting conference, great information. I think the Doge session was quite interesting to hear that, just straight on from a representative from the governor's office. Very informative, and I know a lot of people were probably, well, I guess for lack of a better word, they were better informed, I guess, about what Doge actually is doing and what is happening in the state of Florida. Also, attended the chamber member luncheon featuring Tampa Electric, excuse me, and very helpful during this time of season of storms. We're blessed so far. We've got a lot of rain, but we haven't seen, except the one that recently just came past, but we're still being prepared and ready. I also had opportunity to have a sneak peek, and I want to appreciate the city manager and also those just for the opportunity to go through the Winter Haven Recreation and Culture Center. Still under construction, still a lot of work to be done. But I will say what I did see was extremely impressive, and I am excited about that new facility. I think it's going to be just a wonderful addition to the city of Winter Haven, and I'm sure the citizens will appreciate the great work and all that is going to be done in that building. Also featuring in that building the culture of many African Americans who have served in Winter Haven over the years, and I think that's a great step forward as we seek to unite our community together. So those are the things that I was able to attend.
All right. Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem?
Thank you. So attended the Florida League as well. That's always, you're drinking information by fire hose. I haven't quite got the analogy right for the Doge meeting. Something along with a medical procedure that men need to really do at the age of 44 and forward comes to mind. But, men should be aware and have those tests done as well. But the rest of the meeting was fantastic and really a lot of information. And what I take away from the conference consistently is the conversations and discussions that we get to have with other elected officials throughout the state, serving in their municipalities and hearing what they're dealing with and what ideas that they have, and also sharing what Winter Haven is doing and the ideas that we have. So, and really having a collaborative effort to make sure that we're able to continue to be making, being local voices for local decisions. And that's going to continue to be on the forefront of any decision I ever make. Is it's what's best for the city of Winter Haven. With that, I just want to thank Commissioner Dantzler for his time up here. 13 years go by in a blink, right?
I still got 5 months, so y'all are going to keep hearing me from me
Well,
for a while.
I'm a little concerned that, well, I'm not concerned wouldn't be the right word. I just want to see you in a Florida State tie one more time this year. So
we'll see.
what a better
We
way to
will
head
see.
out than to be in garnet and gold. Maybe we'll even do it out of jacket or something like that to really give you that
We'll see.
flare out the door. But no, in all seriousness, you've done this city a great service, and thank you so much for your service over the last 13 years. And it's been an honor to serve up here with you. Thank you. See, go ahead. Oh, one more thing. So the Florida League of Cities decided to make a vote on board of directors, and I was nominated and elected to that position. So I will now serve as on the Florida League of Cities board of directors and can hopefully, again, speak for Winter Haven in all of those meetings. So look forward to serving on that as well.
Cheers. Good job.
With that, I'm done.
I'm gonna start off by saying congratulations, and I know you'll do a good job.
Thank you.
The Florida League of Cities conference, there a lot has been said already, but the one thing that they encouraged and asked that we all do as cities, the tax initiative, they're pretty certain that it's going to come back. And once the legislature is in session, we cannot, as elected officials, we can't have any real, not to use the word lobby, but that's the word they used. So that was really a major concern for all of us, because that's all I'm going to say about it, is that we need to step forward and do some things. Attended the luncheon that was presented where Tico was the speaker, and wouldn't you know it, now they spoke about hurricane preparedness and getting ready and all the stuff that they're doing. And in my neighborhood, at 4 a.m. Saturday morning, there was an electrical strike that apparently knocked out some transformers because the power didn't come back on until we were in, the chief of police and I were at a honoring first responders Saturday afternoon at New Bethel AME Church. And the program started at 4 o'clock in the dark with no air conditioning. And after about an hour, the power came on. So Tico, I needed to call them, but at any rate, so, and the program was good, honoring first responders. And there were representatives from the sheriff department that was there as well. And so we all received a few, even though I'm not a first responder, I received a little plaque as well as along with the other first responders that were there. Attended the Florida Regional Council Association, FRACA, which is a state association. It was held in St. Pete. And one of the things that has happened is that with regional advisory councils, they were put into place by legislature. And so there were 12 of them. So one of them was about to, well, they've been inactive. And so if they voted to disband, then that would affect all the rest of us. So pleased to report that they're back, going to try to start again. In fact, 2 of the counties in that area, which includes Sarasota and Fort Myers and Lee County, and they're back. So we were happy that that has taken place. And so that's pretty much it for me. And Commissioner Dantzler, it's been my pleasure to serve with you all.
My entire career.
Your entire career. And we really do appreciate you.
Thank you.
City Attorney, I see that you have something that you want to report on, Senate Bill 180.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Commission, pursuant to the commission's consensus at the agenda review last Wednesday on August 20th, I have provided to the commission a draft form resolution that was furnished to me by attorney Jamie Cole, who is a partner with the Weiss, Sirota, Helfman, Cole, and Bierman law firm, who that firm is located down in South Florida. They specialize, among other things, in representing local governments. But it is a resolution that pertains to a legal challenge to Senate Bill 180. You may recall Senate Bill 180 was adopted by the legislature at the very end of the session and signed by the governor into law, I believe, on June 26th. That went into effect on July 1. It's couched in terms of emergency management, but there are a number of things within that Senate Bill 180 that operate in a lot of ways to restrict home rule and to restrict the local government's exercise of authority as it relates to land use, zoning, comprehensive planning, and development matters. Mr. Cole, who you may recall is the attorney that's represented the city when we filed a lawsuit on the Form 1, Form 6 matter. He's the same attorney that's representing or has proposed to represent local governments in this action. This would be a state law action that would challenge the Florida constitutional basis of Senate Bill 180, the 7th whereas clause in the draft resolution that Mr. Cole prepared articulates some of the bases on which the legal challenge would be grounded. Among other things, it would suggest that or allege that there would, the bill covers more than one subject. The title was maybe vague or misleading, and there are maybe usurp some of the home rule authority that may not be appropriate. But in any event, the discussion tonight is presented to you to see if this city desires to participate in the proposed litigation that challenges Senate Bill 180. And if you have that desire, then the suggestion would be to retain the Weiss Serota law firm to represent the city. I would suggest that we have a discussion on that this evening. There are, as you know, pros and cons in any litigation. And I don't know that I have a particular recommendation at this point in time. I've discussed this with some of you. I've certainly discussed it with the city manager. There are certain attributes that could be advantaged if we did participate in the litigation. It essentially requires a $10,000 payment to the Weiss Serota law firm for the trial court representation. If the case would be appealed, it would be filed likely up in Tallahassee. It would be appealed likely to the First District Court of Appeal. That would require an additional $10,000, $5,000. And then if it got appealed to the Florida Supreme Court, again, after that, it would be another $5,000. So essentially a potential $20,000 investment in this effort. Mr. Cole has indicated that they would not proceed unless they have at least 10 local governments to participate in the litigation. It is not a federal court matter, so it would be a little unlike the federal case that dealt with Form 6, Form 1 litigation that was previously mentioned. And, I talked to Mr. Cole last week, and he said that there are approximately 6 local governments, but more he expected as the month of August and the first couple weeks of September unfolded. His idea was that he would file, again, unless he got 10 local governments, and that likely would file around the middle of September. But I just wanted to bring this to your attention, generate some discussion. Can't discuss this, but in, at a meeting. And if you want to direct me to do any particular thing, would be happy to take that direction and then move forward as the commission, as a majority of the commission feels it's appropriate. I don't know if the city manager has any thoughts on this matter and beyond what I've presented, but I did want to present this to you tonight, as you've asked at the workshop agenda review meeting last Wednesday.
Mr. Mayor, I would just offer one thought on this, and that is in dialogue that I have with, the folks I work with at the league. I think it's reasonable to believe that a glitch bill may be filed this fall through the committee work, and then certainly be considered in legislation that kicks off in early January of 2026 in response to the issues that are known to exist within Senate Bill 180. There's rumor of that, and that's really all that is at this point. A glitch bill is intended to fix problems with bad legislation. There's no known sponsor of any such bill. There's no preliminary draft of any such bill that we have seen, but that is the general belief amongst some of the people that I rely upon in Tallahassee, that we could see something along those lines. And I just throw that out, that may be another pathway to resolve some of our issues and the issues that most local governments have with Senate Bill 180. As we've discussed time and time again, Senate Bill 180, which is intended to safeguard property owners in response to emergencies that occur, goes way beyond that and prohibits us from doing anything dealing with land development regulation, dating back to August of 2024 and going forward until, I believe, October of 2027.
Correct. Unless there's another storm.
And if there's another storm, then that clock resets again and goes even farther. And as it reads now, anyone within 100 miles of a landfall and the path of that storm is subject to those conditions. So I just put that out, that there may be a glitch bill, but we don't know if that's the case, but that certainly could be another means to address the issues that have been brought forward.
So my question is, and I'm kind of relating this back to the memory of the previous filing that we did with this firm. So if we did move forward, are we going to be excluded from following the rules of Senate Bill 180, or do we still have to follow those rules until a final determination has been made?
Likely, Mayor Pro Tem Yates, not likely, but we would have to follow the Senate Bill 180 rules. In this instance, there's a number of different avenues of relief that I would expect that they would seek, one of which would be perhaps a preliminary injunction. But I don't know, and I'm not certain in state court how that would work versus the federal issue, when we're comparing it to the Form 1, Form 6 litigation matter. So my answer to you is that, we would need to follow the law until such time as the law was either found to be unconstitutional and the appeal periods had elapsed, or there was a stay, or legal maneuvering, if you will. But you would have to follow the law, whether you chose to challenge it or not. Now, I guess the corollary to what you've said is, if you don't participate and there is a lawsuit, does the relief, if there is any, that's afforded in the lawsuit, does that affect the city if you're not a party to the litigation? And I will tell you that in general, this is not explained to me to be a class action lawsuit. This is not explained to me to be a lawsuit where they're looking for, as I said, class action status. I don't know the answer to that question. It would seem, it would depend on the type of ruling and the type of scope of relief that a trial judge or a court would give. If you may remember in the ethics, the Form 1, Form 6, the federal judge in that case fashioned a preliminary injunction that applied to all municipal officials, whether you were a party to the lawsuit or not. And that was based on principles that they enunciated in the preliminary order. I don't know whether that would be the same basis here or not, since this would be grounded more in a state court or a state constitutional theory, but it's conceivable that it could be, but I don't know the answer to that question tonight. I would say and recommend that we follow the law until such time as either a court or the legislature, changes it.
John, what time frame?
In terms of how long the litigation would last?
Yep, no, I mean, for them to file.
My understanding, Mayor, is that Mr. Cole, when I spoke to him last week, indicated again that he wanted to have at least 10 local governments, join up before they would file anything. And he was looking at middle September as a time frame to file something, hoping that they would be able to have at least 10 local governments. He indicated that there were 6 and that he expected more. That was last week. So I haven't talked to him again. I will speak to him, but I would expect if something's going to be filed, that it would be middle September, likely, that it would be filed.
So do you know who those other 6 are?
I do not.
The Form 1, Form 6, how many did participate in that?
Oh, there were hundreds. And there were hundreds of individual elected officials. If you may recall, that was in federal court, the actual municipal corporations were not the plaintiffs. It was the individual elected officials of each city that were the plaintiffs in that action. So that was a little bit different.
Would it be reasonable that if in fact there is, relief regarding this 180, that would be across the state itself, or would affect everyone, but not necessarily just those who enjoined the lawsuit?
I'm sorry, your question was, is it reasonable?
Everybody.
Pardon?
It'll apply to everybody.
I think that would be hopefully the expectation
Yeah.
that it would, given the way it would be ruled on. I think it likely would be the case. I just can't give any assurance that it would, but it's likely that it would. Depending on what the finding is. Now, of course, they could, a court could decide, against the plaintiffs, local governments, in which case there
You
would be.
expect
no
more,
relief.
but you say there's not 10 yet?
Not as of last Wednesday when I spoke to Mr. Cole, but he indicated to me that he had every expectation that he would get to 10. But they haven't, as of last Wednesday, he hadn't gotten there yet. But I do plan to reach out to him and find out if he's reached that number.
You think that's very low at this point?
It's hard for me to assess, Commissioner Dollison, because when I asked Mr. Cole that question, he said a lot of the, since July 1, and since they've had, about a month or so to gather research and do their legal due diligence, that a lot of commissions are either not meeting, or they were on summer, hiatus, or they, what have you. So some commissions only meet once a month, and so it was sort of kind of a summer break, if you will. And so, and after the Labor Day, when they really get back into that dynamic doesn't work here in Winter Haven. We never seem to have any kind of a break, but that was how he explained it to me, was that a number of the commissions in other cities around that, may not have had an opportunity to evaluate it.
Go ahead.
John, do you remember when Lakeland sued Swiftmud for their permit, their water permit? And there were a lot of people around here that didn't. Some of the smaller cities did not join that lawsuit. Lakeland won. And so now the smaller cities have no water, are in desperate need of water. Lakeland has plenty, so.
Yeah, I do remember that, Commissioner Mercer. I don't know that they're prevailing in that particular litigation could explain why some cities why Lakeland has water and other cities do not, but
Well, they cut, like, I can give you an example of Dundee. They had over 2 million gallons a day at one time. They cut them back to 917,500 gallons. And all of the smaller cities like that got cut, almost more than half. And
that must have been some time back then.
and I've been around for a while.
Yeah, probably more than 24 years ago anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I think I see your point.
If you do nothing, you stand the risk of,
Yeah.
not getting anything.
Correct.
So,
I wouldn't
or
disagree with
keeping
that.
what you got either, so.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Well, as you all know, I am absolutely not afraid of a fight, particularly when it comes, and I think we should fight more. And as you know, with Form 6, that was something that we joined and we prevailed, and I'm glad we did, and I appreciate the support that we had from across the state. So, John, a couple of questions. If they file, first of all, is there any other law firm out there trying to start one of these class actions, or is it just this particular one that's contacted us? Or
This is the only one that's contacted us that I'm aware of, but there are likely other lawsuits pending. I know that regarding certain aspects the other way around, where developers are suing Manatee County, and maybe there's developers suing Osceola County based on Senate Bill 180's provisions. But I'm not aware of anyone in this posture who has solicited or who has approached to do this.
I'm no fan of Senate Bill 180. That's clear. And I don't like any attempts on attacks on home rule, which this is. But on the other hand, we as a commission have to decide if we're going to get known as a suer, as a commission that will sue people. And I personally don't mind having that reputation, but we need to be careful that because I assure you, there's somebody in Tallahassee that's watching who's joining these lawsuits. And we're seeing right now with some of this Doge stuff. Some cities are being looked at a little more closely than others. And we don't want that to happen to us because of some lawsuit that we joined. So, but having said that, I got no problem fighting back. And the cynic in me says this law firm is going to try to file a lawsuit, going to try to make some money, maybe do some good. Hopefully they'll do some good, but they got to get 10 people to do it. T says there's potential of a glitch bill. That basically just means legislation to fix the problems. So is there any way that we could potentially join the lawsuit if there's not a glitch bill filed, or is there any rush because they're having committee meetings next week, I think, or 2 weeks from now, to see if there is actually going to be some sort of an attempt to correct some of these problems, and we can file after the fact, or we could potentially be the number 15 city that joins instead of the number 7th city to join, something like that. I don't necessarily want us to be known in Tallahassee as that Sioux city, and one of those cities that sue all the time. You know what I mean?
I do, and just so you are refresh your memory, if you may recall on the federal lawsuit, we were not the first parties. And in litigation, complaints that are filed are often amended, and parties are often added, as the litigation progresses. And so, yes, there likely would. I had a discussion with Mr. Cole about that, and there likely would be an opportunity for a city to join in after the initial litigation is filed, depending. But yes, just to frame it for your reference, that's how we found ourselves in the Form 1, Form 6 litigation. We actually, the case, the lawsuit had already been filed, and we got in on either a first or second amended complaint. And so I think that could be a possible path forward.
Well,
here.
but to Commissioner Yates's point, when we joined the lawsuit, the 5 of us didn't have to file Form 6. We could still do Form 1 until the lawsuit was settled because we were parties of the lawsuit. So we bought ourselves a year at least of having to file that darn form.
I think the only reason you didn't have to file the lengthy form was because there was a preliminary injunction entered.
That was not because.
No, that enjoined the Department of Commission on Ethics from enforcing that law, and it said that the lesser form that you'd always filed was sufficient. So that was because a federal judge entered an injunction.
Yeah, but
prohibiting
that was known going into the vote, though. We had that discussion, and before we ever even voted on it, and I voted no against it personally, but the commission voted yes, so we moved forward with it, and that's fine. But that was part of that discussion before we ever made a decision up here, was that we would temporarily have the waiver of completing Form 6.
I don't
go back and listen to it,
Yeah,
but
I don't recall that the preliminary injunction was issued at the time we joined.
And that was maybe a more formal preliminary injunction. Maybe it was a temporary stay.
That's what it was.
On us having to complete it, and then the preliminary injunction came afterwards.
Yeah, I don't recall it exactly that way. But in any event, it's not. The point is that in that case, the court's order applied statewide to all elected officials. And to get back to your point, Commissioner Dantzler, yes, we could join probably, I would guess, at any point, any earlier point in time. The case gets to a certain status, then it becomes impractical, or a court might not permit other parties to join in, depending. But in this instance, there could be an opportunity earlier on in the process for parties to be added.
When do they start having their meetings up in Tallahassee? Is it 2 weeks?
October, they're going to start. I just looked at the calendar before I came in here, so they fire up in October.
Mid-October, early October? We'll know then whether there's going to be some sort of an attempt to fix this, I would think.
I think it's something we continue to watch, and certainly, like I said, I'm engaged with the league on a weekly basis, and that's, this is a hot topic. I'll just weigh in that I don't think you have to make a decision this evening. I think it's good that we have the information out there. You're aware of it. You understand the pros and the cons of engaging. I'm not an attorney, nor do I pretend to be one, but I would have to, and Commissioner Dawson, I'm going to think rational and logical, which doesn't always go hand in hand with the legislature on some stuff. And I may get smacked for saying that, but that's the reality of it. Senate Bill 180 is an example of that. I think it'd be hard to apply Senate Bill 180 to those cities that didn't join a lawsuit, but not to those that did. I don't know how you do that, but I think that we've got some time, and if that goes through, if Mr. Cole is able to secure a minimum of 10 agencies that are willing to participate in that lawsuit, looks like it'll go forward. And if there's an opportunity to join that through an amended motion at some point, great. But I think you've got a little bit of time, at least until your next commission meeting. I don't think anything is happening before September 10th, but that would just be my professional thought on it.
And that's why in the fact sheet, I indicated, certainly you don't need to make any decisions tonight. It was conversation, discussion, do what we just did, the pros and cons. And then if there's, we can certainly report back on September 10th. You meet again on September 25th. You have 2 more meetings, frankly, this month. I'd like to have a conversation again with Mr. Cole and find out, if there's any more mass that's been added to the equation, if you will, and see what's what as it relates to these matters.
Yeah, that's important. I think, from a practical standpoint, 180 is really a challenge for all cities. Safety, just from the issue of home rule that the mayor has mentioned, all that's under attack. So either you fight for what you believe that is important for the city, or we don't. So I think you have to decide you're going to stand up, because that's the only option we have at this point. We can just pretty much, everything that comes down, we basically have to deal with. We understand that. But I think that when there's overreach and it appears that this is creating a challenge, it's great for developers, but it's a headache for cities.
Well, and more than that, I agree with, your observations are well taken. But I think in addition to that, there are some real fiscal impacts that hit local governments. Not only attorney's fees and costs, if we are sued by anyone, there's a lot. They've enunciated a very broad basis for standing. That citizens and developers and owners of property and people that can bring lawsuits against cities if they contend or allege that we have violated or created a more burdensome or a more restrictive regulation or what have you in the context of what's been passed into law. And, we've done some things recently that have a fiscal impact that, could be challenged, quite frankly. And there are some counties that are being challenged right now. There are lawsuits that are pending around the state. So it's a landscape that, we just need to be mindful of. This is a way that was, forwarded to me from the law firm. And so I just present it to you to make sure that, you have the opportunity to understand and have these good discussions. And we can come back to this.
So I would suggest you go ahead and prepare everything as if we were moving forward, and then let's have a discussion on this on September 10th. That would be my thought. And, to address Commissioner Dantzler's concern with the Doge, I think, and I agree with that entirely. I think the one area we can look to is we continuously hear from our constituents that we need to change these plats and subdivisions and make lots bigger and do those sorts of things to, try to control the growth that's continuing to happen. And we can't do that if this bill exists. So I think our constituents would tell us, hey, you need to spend $10,000 so you can continue to help have that control locally. That's my gut feeling is what the citizens of Winter Haven would say, Because this takes away any possibility of trying to say, hey, your lot's got to be this big or this small, or your setback's got to be here or there. That would be my thought on that. But I would suggest, if everyone else agrees, get everything ready, and then let's talk about this on September the 10th. And we can probably still have the time to actually file it if we move forward at that, to be on the original filing, would be my thought.
I'm going to say right now, I'm not prepared to do this until we know what's going to happen with it. If there's going to be a glitch bill. If there's going to be a glitch bill, I'd just soon wait. If there's not, then that'll add a whole nother dimension to our discussion. But if there's going to be an attempt by somebody in the legislature to fix some of these things, I'd rather let them fix it instead of putting a bullseye on our back as Winter Haven's always looking to sue somebody. You know what I mean? And that may or may not be true, but that's just what comes to my mind. And I sit here and I know how things happen. Maybe we don't get that bullseye on our back, but
Well, I think your points are very well taken, everyone's points. There's some train of thought that might suggest if you might not get a very good glitch bill unless you have a litigation.
yeah,
And
true.
you have,
That's a
and you
good
have
point.
the hammer of a potential successful lawsuit, and then you might get a better glitch bill.
That's
So
a
I
good
mean,
point.
there's competing viewpoints maybe that
You're right. I mean,
could be taken into consideration, but it's ultimately a call for the commission. And
well, clearly, T, you're in contact with the league quite often, and you're talking to them, and they're telling you what they're seeing up there. So,
Lobbyists as well. I mean, we'll continue to watch it and report back.
Well, since we are not going to actually vote tonight, we'll have time in almost 3 weeks to consider again.
well, Mayor Pro Tem Yates suggested that, and I haven't heard from how you all feel about it, but if you like, I can prepare a resolution that's specific to Winter Haven and bring it back at least and put it on the agenda. Doesn't mean you have to support it. Is that something you want to direct me to do and invest that time and effort into that? Or would you rather me wait? Along the lines of what Mayor Pro Tem Yates said.
I'd rather be ready to go if we needed it. But that's just me.
Well, even if we didn't, it would be another 2 weeks if we decided and didn't have a resolution
Correct.
ready to go.
It would be, yeah, I think you have a meeting on September 10th and you have a meeting on September 25th,
That's what I'm
this
saying.
September. And then you have
And
meetings in
the
October.
committees are not going to meet until October, right?
Right.
So to your point, Commissioner Dantzler,
yeah, I mean,
there would be no consideration unless the league would have some idea of what's in the discussion, which they don't at this time.
But I think they're looking to file the suit in mid-September.
Yeah.
Going into the October session.
That
what
is
I'm
my
hearing.
understanding, yes.
Oh, okay.
how about, John, if you at least find out who the other cities are and who's contemplating joining, will he at least tell you that? Or
He
is that-
probably won't tell me the identities until I've asked him that, and he's indicated, I'll have further conversation. He can give me the numbers. I'll have further conversation, Commissioner Dantzler, on that issue.
I think, when I was at the league, the conference, I think when I was trying to describe the Doge session, and I think probably the thought, the feeling was that it had a chilling effect on everyone in that room. Because I think the message is clear that you fall in line, pretty much, or else. And it was described pretty much what would take place if you didn't in many ways. And I don't know if this is not something that cities have had to necessarily deal with heretofore, but it is the reality today. I guess the decision then is how do we go forward? How do we maintain home rule? How do we try to do what's in the best interest of the citizens locally here, and not pandering always to what's being done, up the line. And that's the sad commentary today is that, that, again, that feeling was very chilling in that room. after that session. I didn't talk to a lot of people about it, but you can look on the people's faces and got a clear indication that this was, it was not just information we shared, it was telling me what we're going to do, and we do it any way we want to do it.
So John, how much time does it take for you to prepare?
This won't take very long.
So, I mean, Brian, it's up to you. If you really want to have it ready by the next meeting, I'm not sure I'm going to support it until I know anything about a glitch bill, but maybe in the end of September, but I'm ready to put this thing to bed.
I'm fine either way. It was just my suggestion. I'm a planner, so I just like to be ready to roll in the event we're ready to roll. And if, we can't do anything between now and then to instruct city attorney to move forward. I guess we could do it at the agenda review if we needed to, but I don't know. I was just looking for John to earn his paycheck, but.
I'll move on to the next item on that issue. But I appreciate that, Member Tim Yates. And I'll take direction from, of course, the majority of the commission, however you want to give me direction. I will say I'm very grateful I'm not a politician, and I'm not a policymaker. Those are tough things you all have to do, and things that are, you all articulated matters that are very important and that you need to give consideration to when you make decisions. So I understand. I don't present it lightly.
I mean, nobody's jumping on board my suggestion, so just wait.
I will. I'll go along with what you have proposed, because I think that, Form 16, that was important to a lot of people. And I think this is the implications here. Like I said, from a practical standpoint, this thing will have a tremendous impact. And it's a safety issue as well. So, there are a lot of implications here I think that we have to really give consideration to. I think it is important to have the BAS, because you should have more. You would think there would be more who would join in this, because they know the impact that it's having in their local municipality. So I agree with that.
If it doesn't move forward, we just shred it, and that's correct.
Well, I sort of follow the lines of the thinking that Commissioner Dantzler, simply because with the Form 6, that was a totally different sphere, because even though it was put forth, now we're dealing with our legislators that are still there looking at us. So we can see in 2 weeks.
It's up to you.
All right.
What else?
It's 2-2, so.
Well, as I'm seeing the split, so.
I think we should be prepared. I think we should have
Okay.
it in our hand.
Okay.
All right, 3-2. All right.
I mean, this is nothing that's set in stone, obviously, but we'll move forward. Thank
Yeah,
you.
because you bring it and we still may not vote. for it.
Correct. Understood.
Mayor and Commissioners, for what
Thank
it's
you.
worth, I think that the information scattered between now and your next meeting will be critical to how you move forward.
Yes.
How many
Okay.
people sign
All right.
out of that? What's the tipping point that you want to be involved, or don't feel you need to be involved? So there's a lot.
Yeah.
Out there, but Mr.
All right.
Schmoke will be prepared.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your
City Manager,
deliberations.
Nothing this evening. Thank you.
Deputy City Manager,
Nothing this evening, thank you.
City Clerk.
Nothing from me either.
What do we have?
We have Mercedes.
Mercedes. Emergency matters not received for the agenda. Motion to adjourn.
Don't move.